G'day everyone and welcome to another edition of Craps Down Under. Today I'm going to continue building our bankroll. We're almost at our $600 level, we're at $530. So I'm going to pull out everything but $300. So we'll play with a $300 session bankroll. Putting all that aside there, so that's 100 there. I need to get a couple more. Need to get another 100. There we go. I might just put that in for some reds straight up. So we tend to use the reds. Alright, here we go. So we've got our reds in place. Alright, so $300 bankroll. So today I'm going to aim for us, we're at 530, so I'm going to try and make our 70, which is still within that 20 to 30% range. So we can get to their $600 level, which will allow us to have 2 bankrolls. So that's kind of where I want to be. Get 5. Here we go. Put the caps on these. All right. So now, time to grab some dice. Get those. Yep, those two will do. All right. Now we've got a decision whether we want to be working or not working. We're at the start, so I'm kind of going to be a bit bullish that we can at least afford to have a punt and see how it goes. So let's work. We've got a 12, so a bit of rubbish. That's our first wasted roll. Usually I'll typically turn off when I see the rubbish. I haven't just gone straight into hitting an inside number. There's a 6, so they made an inside number, but we weren't working, we were off on that. All right, so now we are working. Better mark the point. And let's see how we go. We've got a 9, so that's another inside, but we're not on it. And we've got a 6, so shooters hit their point. So we get our 3 units for 1. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pull down so that our exposure is now $3. So we've got $3 in the hand. That's all we have exposed. Given that's the case and given it is still early, I'm going to work for at least 1 roll here. If they hit a point, then great. If they roll some rubbish, I'll be off. And I've got a 6, so that's good. Take the lamina off. So we get paid $7 here. So this is a decision whether we want to press or not. Given the shooters just hit, I am actually going to press this one. So I'm not getting completely out of the hand risk free. I am still $2 in the hand now. I am going for it. So there's some yo. So now that I've seen that, okay, maybe they're off. So I'll take down my profit. I'll still work for 1 more roll. Maybe I'm going to take my 5 back and just work the 2. We've got an 8. All right. So that's good. We can take that 8 down and just leave the 6 up. Got a 9. So I'm just showing you different ways that you can mix it up. Shooters got their point. So again, us even taking off the felt, we actually didn't actually miss out on anything by doing that. There was no missed opportunity, so it was kind of nice that we took the risk out of our hand while doing that. So now we're at that point, okay, the shooters have had a long enough roll. I'm not going to work this come out. I'm going to definitely be off, which is the default position. So let's see what the shooter does, and then I may go up a little bit on some of the points. We'll see what they roll. There's a 9. So I haven't rolled any 7s. So what do we want to do? I'm kind of inclined to not be on at all and just see what happens. Just going to see what happens at this point. 9, so they've hit their point. All right. So it's the second point for the shooter. So I'm definitely not going to be on this come out roll, because they've now had sort of 2 opportunities to roll 7s on their come outs. They haven't done that yet. And if I don't kind of see some 7s happening here, then I'll be kind of thinking, well, you know, you can only roll the dice so many times where 16% opportunity to get roll a 7 is going to come up. It's going to come up at some point. We haven't seen that yet. There's a 4, so it's an outside. I'm just going to stay off. Oh, there's an 8, so they're back on the insides. So maybe I'll just, maybe I'll risk 2 units. Just like that. There's a good chance I'll get caught here though. And there's a 7. So we did get caught. And I did it knowingly, but we are still ahead in that hand. We actually got up. And we'll just show you where we actually got to. All right, so we're up $23 for that shooter. So almost a free roll, not quite. Right, 2 units, 2 caps on each. All right, so I'm going to stay off. Get some new dice, so it's a new shooter. We've got a 5. All right, so now we're working. And a 5 again. So back to back. Kind of nice when we see that happen. So there's our, we do need to pay the $1. I'll come down. There's no need for us to press, given we're ahead. All right, so, oops, I need to have caps on there. Can't go down to that. Need to have the caps. All right, so this is a new come out roll. So the shooter's basically set the point, hit the point. I'm actually going to work just because they haven't done anything wrong. They've been doing everything we want to see. Oops, dice off the table. It doesn't mean they can't roll a 7. Can always come up. There's a 9, so another inside. We're not on the inside this time. We could move to the inside. The shooter has hit a point, so maybe they'll hit a second point. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance. You know, you go 9 or 5, doesn't really matter. And 7. So we got caught. We lost $3 on that shooter. So that's a $3 loss. But the shooter was showing all the right signs. They're doing everything right. This doesn't mean they're not going to throw 7s. It can always happen. There's no immunity in the game. And the numbers we're on, because of the numbers we're on, we're basically covering 14 combinations versus the 6. So it's a 70 versus 30%. So 70 in our favour, 30 against us. So we do expect to win at least 1 hit most times. And 2 hits is 49% is what we expect to happen in all of our attempts at getting 2 hits. We expect to get it 49% of the time. However, once we've had our first hit, we are now at a 70% favourite to have our second hit. Right? And this is the way probability works. Doesn't mean just because we've had 1 hit, oh, now we're still at a 49% probability. No. We are actually now at a 70% probability of getting our second hit, because our first hit has happened. It's no longer a possibility. It's a real event. It occurred is 100%, and the other option of it being a 7 is impossible. We didn't roll a 7, we rolled one of our numbers, so the only thing left is now our second roll, and that's still a 70-30 proposition. So the fact that you get the one hit doesn't diminish your probability of getting the second hit. The second hit is still a 70% proposition. So are we going to work on this guy? I'm going to stay off. I'll just stay off. We've had a 7 short roll. I think potentially there's some more 7s around the corner. Well, I was wrong. We got a 6. So the worst thing that can really happen is set point PSO. I mean, these are the worst things that can happen really with the way we're playing. So we are working now. We've got a 4, so that's an outside. Let's roll number 2. And back-to-back 4s. So they're getting repeaters. Repeater on that 4. And we've got an 8. So that's great. We get our 3 for 1. And I'm going to go down on everything. But I'm going to leave my 8 at the 2 units, just because they've thrown a repeater. Maybe they'll do a repeater on the 8. I'll leave it there and then maybe pull it off if they don't. Oh, sorry, I need to have a white cap on that. 8. So it's nice when you call it. It's really nice. It makes you look like you can predict the future. But I'm certainly not doing that. I'm just going with what the dice are showing me. So now I'm going down. So we've racked some more profit there. Now the question is, where we are a little bit into the hand, we can certainly pull another one off. But given we've had 2 nice hits, I'm inclined to leave the 3 units there for at least one more roll. And we've got an 8 again. So we don't mind that at all. All right. So now we have a choice here. We could potentially take one of our units back and press it up. I'm okay to just leave it like that for now, to be honest. They're doing everything right. So we'll see how we go again. And there's a 7. So we got caught. But that's okay. We made profit on that shooter. I'm fine. It's not optimal. Like we could have come down, but they could have also rolled some more 8s. So we definitely did get a head on that shooter. So we look at where we're at. There's 25. There's 30. 35. Right, so we're getting closer to our target. Our target's only $70, so we're about halfway along to our target. Right, to get some more, put that one back. There we go. All right, so new shooter, new dice. All right, so do we work or not work? Let's say we're off. By default, we're off, so we'll just be off. And we've got a 7. All right, so that was a good call. Yo. So the shooter's rolled a 7 and a yo. So they're naturals, they're great if you're playing a pass line. But they remember that's 2 rolls they've used and still haven't set the point. And there's a 10 and that's an outside. So that's 3 rolls and a 10. I'm actually going to stay off just because they're 3 rolls in and they haven't even hit any of the inside numbers. I want to see them prove to me that they're capable of hitting an inside number before I go onto it. 3 more rubbish. So I'm glad I'm staying out of this one. 4, another outside. So far, we have no risk because we're not on, and it hasn't actually cost us any opportunity because they haven't actually hit anything. 5. So there's their first one. Now, here's the question, right? They're so far into their hand, I'm still not prepared to turn on because they've rolled, you know, 3 numbers to get the 10. Then they've rolled some outside, some horn numbers. They've rolled an outside 4. And there's only now they've finally rolled a 5. So I'm kind of inclined to just stay away from the shooter. And there's the 7, right? So kind of shooters will fall into I guess different buckets. You'll get the ones that'll hit the insides, at least get 1 hit maybe, and then they might 7 out, but at least you've taken most of your risk off the table. And you get the other ones where they're just, you know, maybe all over the place. Like this guy here, and this third one is, well, the third one is really the guy who just uses all his rolls up, just not even getting a point set, and then when he does get a point set, he's rolling, you know, rubbish and maybe an outside number or 2, and that's kind of, there seems to be kind of, I guess, those sort of free flavours of shooter, I guess, is what I'm kind of noticing. So new dice, new shooter. Do I work or not? I might actually work this one, go on, just because we had a crappy shooter. So there's a yo, so now I'm off. All right, so I'll just stay off now. He didn't do what I wanted, so I'll just wait for him to set the point. There's an 8. Now sure, yeah, I've missed out on a hit there, and I could have actually made that hit, but if they're not doing what I want to see straight up, that's fine, I'm happy to wait. No rush. So there's more rubbish. So aces. So I'm not too enthralled with this shooter. So I'm going to go right down to kind of a hit and pull down. That's kind of what I'm inclined to do with this guy. I'm only going to run 2, 4. Yeah, see, he's just not doing it for me. It's nowhere near where I want to be. So I know this is my last roll, and there's a good chance I might get stung. We've got an 8. All right, so I'm just going to take what I get from this guy. I'm pulling my 8 down. I'm just going to leave the 6. There's a 10. So is it worth being up? I don't think so. I'm just going to go down. Nothing. Just let's see what he does. Rubbish. Now I didn't track the point. I'm very sorry, but there's the 7 anyway. So it doesn't really matter. 7's happened. Now he did, I think, set an outside, so this is potentially a come out 7. So apologies here. I know when he set the point, that's right, he set the point, I think was it a 5 or a 10? Sorry, I've lost track of it. So I'm just going to say the shooter's done. It may be the same shooter doing a new come out, but the 7 occurred, didn't hurt us. So I have lost track of where we're at. So I'll go up 2 units. I'm going to be off, so just be clear we are off. I'll grab some new dice anyway. There's a 5, so the point's 5. Alright, so now we're working. And we've got a 5 back to back. So that's good to see. Got to hand the dealer $1. Alright, let's take it down. I don't think I had the right amount of 1s on that then, so that was my bad. I need to change the order of these. Put my whites there, put my reds there. Alright, see how we go. We're working. That was a come out, remember, as well. So 9's the point. So we are still working. And we got a 6, so that's great. We got our second hit. We'll remember we're three units out of our bankroll. We've now made 7. So that basically gives us 4 units of profit. So we've got 4 units of profit with this shooter now. And there's a 10, so outside. All right, so maybe we'll indulge him one more. All right, so that's rubbish. So at this point, I'm kind of going to pull back my 5, and I'll leave my 6 and 8. But yeah, I'm kind of going cold on this shooter. Got the 6. All right. So there's another one. I'm going to pull that back down. In fact, I'm just going to see where we're at. Where's our target? And you'd want to do this in your rack. Sort of separate, maybe separate your chips. Kind of do something like this in your rack. So stack them in your rack, something like that, so you can quickly see how many you've got. Keeping your chips organised in your rack is actually kind of important, because you want to know where you're at any particular time. So I think, if I just pull that down for a sec, I think we're pretty close to our target. Okay, so I've got to get, whoops, one short there. All right, so there's two reds. And remember I said the target was 70 because we want to get to our $600 bankroll. So I've got 60 there. All right, there's our 60 and there's our 70. 2, 3, 73. So I've actually got there. Colour these ones up. So I'm going to get 2 greens. So, $73. We've made our target. We don't need to do anything more. We now, if I take that little red there, I've got everything we need for another green. Alright, so you'll see, when I colour this all up, we will have a brand new $300 bankroll. There's 4. Alright, so $603. There's your dealer tip your dealer. Let's roll this out and see where we go. We've got nothing on it, so more rubbish. And 9, shooters made their point. And there's a 6 as a point. So shooters doing all right. They're kind of still banging out a few numbers inside. There's a 5. That's another good one for us, typically. A 9. So these are all insides. A 9 back to back. A 9, 3 9s in a row. A 4, outside number. A 6, so shooters hit another point. Let's see how far this guy can go. Set the point for 4. Some rubbish. We've got aces. 6, another inside. 3, rubbish. So it's a real mixed bag. A 9. A 6. So they're still managing to, whoops, my dice rolled there. That was a 1. 5, 1, 6. And they've hit their point. This is almost like a repeat of yesterday's video. Shooter just kept going, hitting points. But the interesting thing is we're actually not seeing very many 7s from this guy. He's seen quite a few 9s. So there's 9's the point. He's back-to-back 9s. Man, there we go. That's another point done. On to that 9 again. So I think he's substituting 9s for 7s. 4. Hit the 9 again. Man, this is always interesting the way the dice go when you're doing random rolling. It's fascinating sometimes. You're just like, wow, look at what happens. Literally anything can happen. There's a yo. 5 inside. Whoops, that was a 2. That was a hard 4. Look at you go, my God. And he's hit his 6, my God. There we go, another one. Random roller, come on, show us what you got. This has come out 7, finally got a 7. And he's back on that 6. Hit the 6, okay. This is insane. And there's a come out 7. So there's your 7s. He's getting his 7s on his come outs. He's back on the 9 again. Okay. It's his favourite number. Yo. So a bit of rubbish. Maybe that's the signal. There we are. 7. Finally, shooter's done. All right. We should be tipping that shooter home if you were on him. So there we go. I thought that was interesting. So we made our bankroll. Gosh, I'll have to, when I go through the video, I'll count the number of points he hit, but it might be similar to what we got yesterday, where we had, how many did we have? We had 7, I think it was. 7 shooters. 7 points, sorry. All right, so what I'll do, I'll colour this up. Oh, well, we don't have to colour this one to get reds. So there's my $300 bankroll, and this is our, let's call our primary $300 bankroll. So this is our reserve bankroll. So, and the idea behind having a reserve is it makes you more resilient. Remember when we started playing this, we started with $100. We took out our $100 and then we took out 20% profit, which was $20, and we just put that back into our lifestyle. You know, that's not part of our gambling bankroll anymore. So now we can be basically more or less a lifetime winner if you don't plough through what you've got here. But at this point, it's impossible for us to lose because we've already put the 20% win back in our pocket, and now we're only ever playing now with our winnings. So provided we're smart with our bankroll management and our bet leveling, you know, we can survive some pretty atrocious bad runs, and because we've actually got now a bankroll in reserve. And the idea is that as we go from the $300 level and we level up to our next level, I actually want to have at least 1 or maybe 2 more bankrolls before I go to the next level beyond this one. So my goal here will be to obviously double the bankroll here to a $600 bankroll, and then using, or $500 bankroll, and then using that bankroll, both build up my reserve bankroll and try and keep myself always having a reserve bankroll, and over time we'll then start reducing our session bankroll relative to our overall bankroll, so that we're only ever playing with, you know, ideally you come to the table and you're using 5, imagine that, you come into the table, you're only risking 5% of your overall bankroll on any session. And within that 5%, that allows you to bet at whatever level that is. But the idea is you get consolidation and you get, you know, you're playing from, I guess, a position of strength. You're not flying by the seat of your pants like we were at the very start. You've now got some comfort there that you can, you know, sustain, you know, an abnormal set of dice rolls, I guess you could say, abnormal, but you know, an adverse set of dice rolls that for whatever reason you made the wrong choices, and you know, maybe you get just a run of set the point PSO, and that happens, I don't know, 10, 20 times in a row. I mean, it can happen. So potentially you can get a run something like that. You've now got plenty of reserves to come back and play another day. So appreciate you watching, and look forward to taking this further and seeing how far we can grow our bankroll. But catch you again. Bye.